Hold on to your hats, folks. Did Uncle Sam accidentally slip a few bucks into the piggy bank of Boko Haram? That's the eyebrow-raising claim U.S. Congressman Scott Perry is throwing out there, suggesting USAID, yes, that USAID, might have inadvertently been a sugar daddy to the very group, causing mayhem across Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon, and Chad. Talk about an oopsie moment if true. Now, before we all start picturing Uncle Sam in a Boko Loves USA t-shirt, which, let's be honest, is a mental image we'd all rather see, let's dive into this juicy bit of controversy, shall we? They're asking the big questions. Could this be true? What would it even mean for how foreign aid rolls out in Africa? And most importantly, what are Africans themselves saying about this bombshell? This isn't your average cat stuck in a tree news story, people. This has the potential to be a real game changer. A shake you to your core kind of revelation. So, grab your popcorn, maybe a little pepper soup for extra flavor, and let's unpack this explosive claim. Congressman Perry's accusation, if it holds water, would be like finding out your kindly neighbor, who always bakes you cookies, is secretly running a ninja training camp in their basement. You'd be all, wait, what? If a major USAID agency inadvertently funded a terrorist organization responsible for so much bloodshed and instability, the implications would be massive. We're talking about a potential overhaul of how aid is distributed, serious questions about oversight, and a whole lot of we need to talk. Between the US and the affected African nations, let's break down the key angles here. 1. The allegation itself. Congressman Perry isn't just saying maybe they did. He's making a direct claim. Now, in the world of politics, sometimes claims are like hot puff. They look tempting but might just be full of air. So, we need to see the evidence. What makes Congressman Perry so sure? Is he privy to some top-secret intel? Did he find a USAID check with 4 Boko Harams explosives fund scribbled in the memo line? We need details. 2. USAID's role. USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, is usually associated with things like building schools, providing healthcare, and supporting agricultural development. They're the good guys, right? The ones who show up with the big bags of assistance and the promise of a better tomorrow. The idea that they could somehow be linked to funding a group as brutal as Boko Haram is, frankly, mind-boggling. It's like finding out Mother Teresa had a secret life as a competitive arm wrestler. You'd need to sit down for a minute. 3. The impact on foreign aid. If this allegation proves true, it could have a chilling effect on foreign aid in general. Recipient countries might become more suspicious, and donor countries might become more hesitant. It could lead to a lot more red tape, more stringent checks, and a general atmosphere of mistrust. Imagine trying to help someone, and then finding out your help inadvertently went to the very people causing them harm. That's a recipe for a serious trust deficit. 4. The African perspective. This is where it gets really interesting. How are Nigerians, Cameroonians, and Chadians reacting to this news? Are they shocked, angry? Do they see it as a confirmation of long-held suspicions? Could this be a case of funds being diverted? Perhaps USAID gave money for a specific project, and local actors with nefarious intentions siphoned some of it off to support Boko Haram. That's a possibility, albeit a deeply concerning one. It would point to serious flaws in oversight and accountability. Or, could Congressman Perry's claim be based on something else entirely? Maybe it's about indirect support, or perhaps a misinterpretation of how funds were used on the ground. We need the full picture to avoid jumping to conclusions faster than a Danfo driver trying to beat traffic. The phrase "Traore is right" in the headline also adds another layer of intrigue. Who is Traore? What did they say that aligns with Congressman Perry's allegations? This suggests that Perry's claims might not be entirely out of the blue and could resonate with certain viewpoints or perhaps even previous warnings. Let's consider the potential reactions in Nigeria. There might be outrage, demands for investigation, and a further erosion of trust in international actors. For countries like Niger, Cameroon, and Chad, already grappling with the spillover effects of Boko Haram's insurgency, this news could add another layer of complexity to their security challenges and their relationships with international partners. We need to see the evidence behind Congressman Perry's allegations. We need to hear from USAID about their processes and safeguards. And most importantly, we need to understand the perspectives of the people on the ground in the affected African countries. This isn't just about a potential funding mishap. It's about trust, accountability, and the very nature of international aid. If a major player like USAID can be linked, even inadvertently, to such a brutal group, it forces a serious reevaluation of how things are done. Imagine the field day the conspiracy theorists are having with this one. They're probably already drawing up elaborate diagrams with arrows pointing from Washington, D.C. to Sambisa Forest. But beyond the sensationalism, there are real questions that need answers. How can we ensure that aid intended for development and humanitarian purposes doesn't end up fueling conflict? What measures can be put in place to prevent such a thing from happening again?